Well, hello and welcome. This is Miss Heard with Miss Heard Song Lyrics Podcast. Today is season 4, episode 192. First ever Aretha Franklin. I can't believe I've never done her, so we're going to do her today. The Miss Heard song lyric is change, change, change. Change is good. And the correct lyrics is chain, chain, chain. Chain of fools. It's her song, Chain of Fools. Okay, so I recently sang this just last week with my favorite live band karaoke here in the Northwest part of the United States, so a state called Oregon. It was a day before my birthday. It was fun. I've never tried it with the band. I think we did a pretty good job, so it's going to be one I'm going to just keep what they say workshop and keep trying it until I get it right. For years, I had assumed that Aretha Franklin was singing about change, like change in time, change in a relationship, not that she was actually singing about chains, like a chain, like this link this person was. So this song was actually written by a person by the name of Don Covey, and Aretha Franklin herself first released the song as a single back in 1967. So wow, 56 years ago, yeah, and subsequently appeared on many of her albums. It hit number 1 in the Billboard Hot Rhythm and Blues chart and number 2 on Billboard's Hot 100 chart. And a little bit more about the lyrics in a bit, but let's just talk about Miss Aretha Franklin. So she was born back on March 25th, 1942, and passed away sadly on August 16, 2018, so 5 years ago this August. She was an amazing American singer, songwriter, pianist, and dubbed the Queen of Soul. And Rolling Stone had twice named her as the greatest singer and the 9th greatest artist of all time. She had a global sales of over 75 million records, and she, of course, not surprised, is the world's best-selling music artist, or at least one of. So as a child, she was noted for her gospel singing, and she sang at a church called New Bethel Baptist Church in Detroit, Michigan, Motor City, USA, where her father, C.L. Franklin, was a minister. And at age 18, she was signed as a recording artist for Columbia Records. While her career did not immediately skyrocket in some cases, she found acclaim and commercial success when she signed on with Atlantic Records in 1966. She had hit songs such as I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You, Respect, R-E-S-P-C-T, and then You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, Chain of Fools, the song we're talking about today, the Miss Heard song. You better think. And I Say a Little Prayer propelled Franklin's past her musical peers. And she also continued to record very famous albums such as, again, I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You in 1967, 1968's Lady Soul, 1970 Spirit in the Dark, 1972 Young, Gifted, and Black, Amazing Grace in 1972 as well, and Sparkle in 1976 before experiencing problems with her record company. She then left Atlantic in 1979 and signed on with the most famous of all, Clive Davis, with Arista Records. And then the singer actually appeared in a 1980s film called The Blues Brothers. I love it. Remember that? With John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. Gotta love pets. Gotta love pets while you're recording. All right. So she was with the Blues Brothers, and it was a 1980 film, and she released a successful album back in 1982 called Jump to It. And then the one I remember in my teenage year was 1985's Who's Zoomin' Who? Who's Zoomin' Who? And then Aretha in 1986 on the Arista label. And then in 1998, she returned to the top 40 with the Lauryn Hill produced song A Rose is Still a Rose. And then later she released an album with the same name. So she just is still in the zeitgeist. People still know her even past the 50s, 60s, 70s on. She had recorded 112 charted singles on the U.S. Billboard charts, including 73 Hot 100 entries, 17 top 10 pop singles, 100 R&B entries, and 20 number 1 R&B singles. And then the singer's well-known hits also include Ain't No Way, Call Me, Don't Play That Song You Lied, Spanish Harlem, Rock Steady, Daydreaming, Until You Come Back to Me, That's What I'm Gonna Do, Something He Can Feel, Jump to It, Freeway of Love, I love it. Got a freeway of love in my, yeah, I love that. And then Who's Zooming Who, like I mentioned earlier. And I Knew You Were Waiting. Oh, a duet with George Michael, who also passed away. She won a total of 18 Grammy Awards out of 44 nominations, including the first 8 awards given for Best Female R&B and Vocal Performance from 1968 through 1975. And of course, no surprise, she won a Grammy Awards Living Legend Honor and Lifetime Achievement Award. She received numerous honors throughout her career, and she was awarded the National Medal of Arts and the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which when you look at her up on the internet, the pictures just tell it all, how much she's so blessed and just so happy of her journey to get her there. And then in 1987, she actually became the first female artist to be included in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That blows me away that there was no female inductees until 1987. That's okay. Anyway, she was the first. She also was inducted to the UK Music Hall of Fame in 2005 and into, no surprise, the Gospel Music Hall of Fame in 2012. And in 2019, the Pulitzer Prize jury awarded her a posthumous special citation for, they say, quote unquote, for her incredible contribution to American music and culture for more than 5 decades. And in 2020, Franklin was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame. So, wowee. I mean, lots of accolades. And of course, because her music is still to this day. I mean, I just sang it just last week. And the crowd loved the music. As soon as I heard that, and then change, 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 or in my case, change, 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 they knew right away. So let's talk about her death. So on August 13th, back in 2018, so 5 years ago, wow, my mom's birthday, August 13th, Franklin was reported to be gravely ill at her home in Riverfront Towers, Detroit, and was under hospice care and surrounded by friends and family. Such famous friends like Stevie Wonder, Jesse Jackson, and her former husband, Glenn Turman, visited her on her deathbed. And then she died at home on August 16th, so 3 days later, 2018, age 76. She was initially thought to have died without a will, so this has caused quite a stir. The cause of death was a malignant pancreatic neuroendocrine tumor, which is distinct from the most common form of pancreatic cancer. So that's what she had. Oof, that's not easy. Numerous celebrities in the entertainment industry and politicians paid tribute to Miss Aretha Franklin, including former U.S. President Barack Obama, who said she helped define the American experience, and then civil rights activist and minister Al Sharpton called her a civil rights and humanitarian icon. There was a memorial service held for her at the New Bethel Baptist Church on August 19th. Wow, where she started her singing and growing up and where she went back when she passed on August 19th. Thousands then paid their respects during the public lying in repose at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. Then on August 31st, homegoing service held at Greater Grace Temple in Detroit included multiple tributes by celebrities, politicians, friends, family members, and was streamed by some news agencies such as Fox News, CNN, BET, MSNBC, and I mean, it was a who's who of stars there. For example, Leon, hey, stop drinking. God, my dog drinks like a fish. Okay, among those that paid tribute to Aretha at the service were Ariana Grande, Bill Clinton, again, Reverend Al Sharpton, Louis Farrakhan, wow, Faith Hill, Fantasia Barrino, the Clark sisters, Ronald Isley, Angie Stone, Shaka Khan, Jennifer Holliday, Loretta Devine, Jennifer Hudson, Queen Latifah, Shirley Caesar, Stevie Wonder, Gladys Knight, Cedric the Entertainer, Smokey Robinson, and many more. At Franklin's request, she was eulogized by Reverend Jasper Williams Jr. of Salem Baptist Church in Atlanta, as he had eulogized her father, as well as speaking at other family memorials. His eulogy was criticized for being a political address that described children being in home without a father as abortion after birth, and said Black lives do not matter unless Blacks stop killing each other. Ooh, some drama there. Franklin's nephew, Vaughn, complained of Williams. He spoke for 50 minutes, and no time did he properly eulogize her. Following a telecast procession by 7 Mile Road, Franklin was interred at the Woodland Cemetery in Detroit. So more about the song. So when you listen to the lyrics, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, but again, it was regarding a woman that obviously was with her man, her boyfriend, husband for 5 years, and realized she was one of his chain of fools, so many women that he's been cheating on. and others tell her to leave him. Like her father says, come back home. Her doctor says, but she says his love's too strong and she's too weak. Yet someday she predicts the chain will break. So once that chain will break, she leaves him. So that's what Chain of Fools is about. And asked by Jerry Wexler, producer with Atlantic Records, to create songs for Otis Redding originally, Cover recorded a demo of Chain of Fools that, of course, remember, he wrote this song in his youth while singing gospel with his brothers and sisters. The recording featured Covey singing and playing guitar, overdubbed with his own singing background. Listening to the demo, Wexler chose to place the song with Aretha Franklin rather than Otis Redding. So that's the big, all the stars align. It became one of her string of hit singles. Again, it reached #1 in the U.S. R&B chart, staying there for 4 weeks. Chain of Fools also peaked at #2 at the Billboard Hot 100 behind Judy in Disguise with Glasses by John Fred and his Playboy band. I don't even know who that is. It won the Grammy Award for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance and later a Grammy Hall of Fame Award. And then in 2004, the song was ranked 259th on Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. The trademark tremolo guitar licks at the introduction were played by Joe South, and the song was edited for LP and 45. The original version had appeared on what they called a quadraphonic LP, The Best of Aretha Franklin, in 1973, and later released for a quadraphonic DVD by Rhino in 2010. And Cashbox said that the song was, quote unquote, a smashing entry that will top both blues and pop charts with heavy rhythmic push and overwhelming vocal impact. And then there were live recordings that appeared on albums Aretha in Paris in 1968 and VH1's Live 1998 with Mariah Carey. Now, did you know, I know there was a biopic movie that came out. So on January 29, 2018, Jennifer Hudson played Franklin in this movie called Respect, no doubt, released just about a couple years ago in August of 2021 in various countries. So it did quite well. And then, interesting, on February 10, 2019, it was announced that there was going to be a 3rd season of the American National Geographic anthology television series Genius that would be on Franklin. They said it's the first ever definitive scripted miniseries on the life of the universally acclaimed Queen of Soul. The season was supposed to start famous actress, singer, everything, Cynthia Erivo, as Franklin was aired in March 2021. However, Franklin's family denounced the series and claimed to be uninvolved with the production process, despite the production team saying that the series had been endorsed by the Franklin estate. So I got to check that out. It sounds like it did come out, but some drama there even after her death. So hopefully you learned a lot. Now you know, like I do, it's about a chain of fools, not change. And love it. Any good misheard song lyrics that you have like this, just send it to any of our sites like Instagram or Insta as the youngins call it, Facebook or Twitter, or just send me an email at misheard, that's MISSHEARD songs@gmail.com, and we'll do a story about this. Till then, keep singing those songs wrong. Bye.